Hey, what's up everybody? Mixed Games coming back at you with another episode of Give Me Some Cap for Madden 18 franchise mode. So, unfortunately, what I did notice on my previous video was that none of the recording voice commentary was actually applied onto the video. So, unfortunately, we actually went through the whole season, checking out stats between the players and the games, and just kind of talking about, what kind of season we were hoping for, what kind of season we were going to do moving on forward. And we ended up going 5-11, which is pretty bad. But on the plus side, that actually gives us a pretty decently high pick, which we're going to check right now and see what in fact we have. And we have, oh, okay, so we must have unfortunately or the Texans must have already gave away their first round pick. So we're just going to go through the teams, and I'm kind of interested in seeing what overall we actually went. So we would have had the 6th pick, but unfortunately the Browns do have it. They actually have the 4th and the 6th, so pretty close to what they actually have in real life, considering they already have the 4th from the Texans in real life, and they actually have the 1st for themselves. So that's okay. That definitely helps us. That actually does help that we went out and acquired a couple picks. Hopefully we can actually use this 21st pick and kind of move into the top 10, and we'll try and definitely negotiate that and see what kind of deals we can pull off. So we're in the playoffs, or well, we're not in the playoffs, but in the season we're actually in the playoffs, and we're just gonna go through each week. We actually have to sign a scouting partner and a trainer. So we're going to take a look at who we actually have now and see if they're actually worth holding on to. So this scout is actually not that bad, really, really high overall, and he actually boosts up for running backs. So we're actually going to give him a higher contract than what he's asking for to see if we can retain him. But this trainer, we're actually going to let go, and hopefully we can find somebody else to fill in his shoes in the open market. And at the end of the actual regular season, all your practice squad members actually get signed. And from this past season, we actually have a lot of XP. So we're definitely going to go through all the players and just check out, what kind of players we can actually bump up, and what players we're actually going to try and keep as well if they have decent experience. So we're just going to sim ahead until we actually get. Okay, so our scout does sign the contract, which is awesome. And we're trying to get the notification for a higher staff, and this is exactly what we're going to be looking for. So we're going to go over to trainers. This guy's already getting bid by way too many teams, so I'm not trying to get into a bidding war. And we're actually going to be looking at these two guys right here, Nick Garrett and Riot Glikowski. That's a crazy name. And who we're actually going to go for really doesn't matter because they're actually the same overall. But I'm going to take the 3rd guy, considering maybe someone could jump into the 2nd guy and offer him a bigger contract. So we're going to bump up the pay, we're going to bump up the years, so we don't have to worry about signing those guys later on in the future. We're just going to sim it here. And then we're actually going to, okay, so the trainer does hire, which is awesome. So let's see if anybody actually made it to the Pro Bowl on our side. Okay, so we're just gonna go really quick and see if any of our guys actually made it through. I don't expect anybody to, but it would awesome. Oh, Nate Solder, okay. So our left tackle, who's actually a right tackle. Oh no, we have Sebastian Balmer. Oh, okay. That was my confusion right there. Unfortunately, I got a little too excited thinking that one of our guys was actually on there. So let's just keep looking and see if anybody at all is actually on here. Brian Cushing, I don't think he's definitely not on our team. He used to be. He used to be a Texan. Okay, so one of our corners is in for a punt returner. I'll take it. I'll definitely take that. Someone on our side is actually in the Pro Bowl. Whether it's a small position or big position, we got some money in. So we're actually going to go through the overall season stats and just take a look at, how our players actually played. So Deshaun Watson for his rookie season didn't do horrible actually. Could have gotten over that 4,000 yard mark, over the 30 touchdowns, but actually I'm pretty happy with his production. 3,839 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. The sacks, not astronomically high, but 28. Definitely would love to see that number a little bit lower for next season. Lamar Miller definitely had a pretty nice season. 243 carries, 1,108 yards on 8 touchdowns. Our backup came in on a couple times to rush the ball in the end zone. Unfortunately, I do not like fumbles whatsoever, and we definitely had quite a few of those. Which, on offense, once you give the ball back over to the defense, then that's game. So we're just going to check out here, DeAndre Hopkins passing over that 1,000-yard receiving mark on 8 touchdowns. And CJ, who hopefully we actually get another chance to actually try and negotiate with, actually had a really good season for himself, as well as did Will Fuller as well. Blocking, this is where I come and definitely see what positions we need to upgrade. So thankfully Joe Staley was just kind of a one-year fill-in, so he gave up the most sacks by a huge margin. So that's not too bad in my situation because he's either going to retire or we're just definitely not even going to bring him back. Sebastian Balmer with a decent pickup, only giving up 4 sacks, and then our left guard and right guard with 2 and 1. So nothing too crazy. On defense, we have 3 guys over 100 tackles, which is really, really nice. Benedict McKinney, our middle linebacker, with 149. Marcus Gilchrist with 113. And Whitney Merciless with 111. And we're going to see who actually led the team in stacks. Vinny Curry. So our small trade from the Eagles to fill in a void from J.J. Watt, who was actually an 80 overall, less than Carlos Dunlap, actually produced more. Now, not sure how Madden Engine actually takes into play of players, so if they're actually trying to double team Carlos Dunlap and Vinny Curry is getting a one-on-one, like as if it was in real life, not sure how that works. But double-digit sacks for him, I'll definitely take that. Winnie Merciless with 6.5, and Clowney with 4, and Dunlap with 4, which is awesome. Interceptions. I have never seen a middle linebacker with 7 interceptions in the time that I've played Madden. That is unreal and absolutely amazing. Our corner came in clutch with 5 himself, and we just had 3 more picks amongst the entire team. So our McKinney, middle linebacker, is doing phenomenal. And once his contract is up, we're definitely going to be looking into re-signing him and keeping him for the long haul. And then kicking, our kicking needs to improve. 14 for 21, not good whatsoever. He was perfect on extra points, none blocked or missed, but field goals, we need those points. We definitely need those points. And I'd just like to see, we did have 1 kick return, which is pretty nice. That's kind of like those unforgotten scores that happen throughout the games. So actually, we're just gonna take a look at what kind of awards actually were given out for the year. I'm kind of hoping for our middle linebacker to definitely get best middle linebacker, which would be awesome. So Tom Brady wins another MVP, and Ron Rivera gets Coach of the Year. On the AFC, we have Leonard Fournette with Offensive Player, C.J. Mosley with Defensive Player, Leonard Fournette Offensive Rookie. So Leonard Fournette definitely had a season for the ages for himself. Jordan Willis had Defensive Rookie. Tom Brady with the best QB. Fournette was the best running back. Edelman best receiver. Marshall Yanda for the O-line. Ingram for the D-line. C.J. Mosley for the best linebacker. Which kind of bothers me that, McKinney didn't have that, but we'll check out what Mosley's stats were. Verrett had best defensive back, McManus had kicker, and everything was pretty nice. So we're just going to take a look and see what stats CJ Mosley had in his best linebacker victory for the award. And we're just going to check them out really quickly, just do a little quick comparison. Okay. So honestly, relatively super close. Um, he actually had a fumble and a fumble recovery, which McKinney didn't have. McKinney had one more pick than him, a few more tackles than him, and I think less sacks. But to be honest, they're pretty close. So that award could have gone either way. Unfortunately, it didn't go on our end, but we'll be okay. We'll take that. So now what we're gonna do is just take a look into simming it for the Super Bowl, and then definitely checking out the preseason and seeing what's going on there. And unfortunately, my Madden seems to be broken. So one quick second, and we're just gonna re-up this game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
To me, it's all about Tom Brady. He's just one of those guys that if the game's on the line, you need a big play, he'll make that play for you.
Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Then like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now. I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act.
And we're back. Okay, so fortunately I had to reload Madden, but we should be all set. So as I was saying before, the game cut off. We're just gonna sim to the Super Bowl and see exactly who actually makes the Super Bowl. Okay, so the Patriots, and who else is it going to be? Just out of curiosity. Could have gone into playoff schedule, but that's okay. Actually, that's exactly where we're gonna have to go in. And let's just see. Wow. So rematch number 3 between the New York Giants and New England Patriots. So I'm actually a Patriot fan myself, so I'm actually hoping that the Patriots win this one. But knowing the luck of the Giants in real life and the way Madden works, this game could definitely go either way. So that'll be an interesting snippet to add in once it does happen. And we're actually gonna go and scout some players and see what positions we actually haven't fully added out. We're just gonna see. Pretty sure we've gone through all the main positions. Okay, so linebackers. I think all linebackers. Okay, yeah. So we're actually gonna check out a few linebackers. Definitely gonna add depth, and possibly sometimes if you get lucky enough, there is one linebacker where he's more comparable to a D-line, and you can actually just take him, swap him over, and he actually does pretty good. The biggest difference is definitely the size between D linemen and linebackers. So if I pull up a D tackle, well, D tackles are usually heavier. If I pull up a left end, usually you got guys like this, even this guy, where they're 6'7", 6'5", even 6'3", but they're all over 260 just about. This one guy is actually the anomaly, so it's a little bit different. But as far as you see here, yeah, 6'5", 6'7", a bunch of bigger dudes. And then once you come over to linebackers, they tend to be a little bit thinner, a little bit slender. So you just kind of got to pick and choose what guys you think would be actually worth swapping over and moving them into a D lineman. So, sim in the Super Bowl week, we're actually going to find out who wins it for the season. And the New England Patriots topple the New York Giants 38-6. What a blowout. So, okay, yeah, so CJ, we actually unfortunately can't even offer him a contract, which I didn't even know that was a thing for the beginning of the season. only having 3 tries to add the player. So we're gonna slap this franchise tag on him. Definitely worth keeping another year until we could draft a tight end in the draft and hopefully groom him in, or if we can find somebody else in free agency that would be able to take his spot. So looking here, I do want to sign our center. He's relatively young. Pretty sure he has a lot of XP. 7-8. Actually, that's not that many. But he didn't give up, I don't think, even 1 sack. It was mainly our guards. So we're definitely gonna try and offer him a 4-year contract and see if he does want to stay as a Houston Texan. We're gonna offer him this. And awesome. So we got 1 signing, which is perfect. And I'm considering on our fullback, because like I said before, we can always just draft one. Not really sure what kind of impact they actually have when simming the computer. It's a little bit different when you do have, when you're playing in the actual game, because you can use them as a blocker, you can hide around them and maneuver. But we're just gonna see if he even had any rushing stats at all. I'm gonna assume at least yes for some stats. But yeah, four attempts, 9 yards, no touchdowns. Like, that's the thing. We're gonna try and sign him cheap just so we don't have to worry about anything. Unfortunately, the fullback is kind of a tough position to gauge when we're trying to sign him in Madden. We're definitely not gonna offer him exactly what he wants. If we do lose him, we lose him. Not the biggest thing. Okay, so he's hitting free agency, no big deal. He's not really any type of fullback that kind of screams. Really low pass block, decent run block, but wasn't even used as a rusher, so I'm definitely okay with him moving on. Now Marcus Gilchrist, we're actually gonna check here. I believe he was actually one of the leading tackles. I wonder if I could check stats from here. Yes, we can. So, yeah, so he was definitely one of the guys that were leading in tackles. He had an interception. So, he's definitely a nice, strong safety. He's going to get you a bunch of tackles. And that's going to be pretty nice. So, let's see what kind of contract we can offer him. He is 29, and he's probably going to be on the verge of decline. So, he's not going to be a guy of main focus. And to be honest, at 76 overall, 29 years old, we might even just let him go. And if we just want to re-sign him in free agency, we always have that ability to. So, looking at our left guard, 27, his pass blocking and run blocking stats are really, really low. With his awareness, which is going to be tough because he did not have much XP. So he's going to be another guy that we won't be able to bump up too much. So I'm going to say that he's going to be another guy that we just kind of let loose. And if we can offer a contract in free agency, because I do want to see what other guys we could find in free agency. So Andre Hall, who's a 74 overall, 26 years old. He's definitely a little bit younger. And let's see what kind of stats he actually had for 2017. So he had 85 tackles as well with a pick. He had 3 pass deflections, a fumble, and a fumble recovery. Okay, so relatively young. He's gonna be, he's gonna be a work in progress. Even if he's not a full main starter, because we can also look at a free agent free safety, or either draft a free safety in the draft. He seems to be a decent backup because he's only 26. So we're going to offer him a little bit more than what he wants. Not that much. Offer him a little bit more than what he wants, but we are going to bump it up to 3 years. And we'll see if he takes the bait. Okay, so Andre Hall is with the team. So he's definitely a decent starter, but hopefully he turns more into a better backup. So Daryl Washington, who was kind of like a late free agent pickup, We just kind of needed another middle linebacker. Let's see what kind of stats he had. So he had a bunch of tackles, and he did have 1 sack. But he is over 31, and he's just a 74 overall. We're just going to let this guy go. And we're just going to move down the line. So Eddie, not even sure what Eddie did. I know we're actually going to be losing both of our strong safeties. So that's going to be okay. They're both 29. We'll be able to get them back if we do need. Sebastian Balmer, you were an amazing 1-year pickup. If I see you in free agency, we might need to talk again. Okay, so Corey Moore, he's actually 25 years old. Relatively okay stats. Let's see what kind of season he had. So he must have been a third stringer of some sort. He only has 11 tackles. But let's see if he has any decent XP that would be worth developing. So 2,000, that's going to be very, very tough to try and accommodate with. And there's nothing on his stat sheet that scream, hey, you should keep this guy as a developmental player. So we're probably just going to move on from him. We're going to look at this right guard, see what kind of stats he has. Okay, so nothing crazy. We're going to move on for him. We're probably going to move on from most of these guys, to be honest. Most of these guys were kind of free agents. They're super low overall, and then we're definitely going to be able to build in free agency and in the draft. And just because I'm not signing them now, definitely doesn't mean that we're not going to sign them at all. What it means is I want to take a look at what kind of talent we have in free agency, and if we could find someone better and either cheaper or spend the money that we're going to spend on one of these guys, on one of those guys, then that seems to be the better route. Plus, these guys are going to end up in free agency, and if they do get bid on, great. We don't have to worry about that. But if not, we can always just look into them, and see what kind of guy we could work with. So we're just going to decline the last contract, and that should be everybody. So we did re-sign our free safety. We franchise tag CJ, and then we let go of pretty much everybody else. But that's going to be okay. We're going to lose those guys and, possibly get better talent once free agency hits. So let's go in right away, and let's see what top guys are available. So Drew Brees, at the age of 39, actually hits free agency. That is absolutely insane, because we know in real life that definitely would not be happening. But he is in free agency. If I did not have Deshaun Watson, I would definitely sign him and write him off for at least 1 year. We do have Larry Fitzgerald on here. He's getting a little bit of hits. Jeremy Hill, Sharif Floyd, Cameron Brate, Paul Peluzny, Chris Sims or Charles Sims, Brent Grimes as a corner, which actually, kind of looking at him, he might be a decent 1-year pickup, but he is asking for a lot of money, so we're definitely gonna underpay him quite a bit, because I do not want to give him $9.5 million for 1 year. We're going to try and offer him a boatload less and see if he would be willing to take that and play as our number 2 corner. Okay, so let's just go. I'm pretty sure our offensive line is going to be our biggest need, and that's definitely going to be the case. So we're definitely going to have to look at all the positions, probably except for center. On the offensive line, we're going to check out a third receiver, and then on the defense, we are going to have to look at possibly a backup middle linebacker. If not, maybe Cunningham will be taking it over, and then we'll just draft another middle linebacker. Definitely safeties is going to be our concern. So first, let's just go right in with the offense, and let's check out the offensive line and see what kind of left tackles they have, because left tackle was the biggest spot where we were giving up the most sacks. We have Greg Robinson, Taron Jones, D. Kelly. Okay, so nobody crazy good. unfortunately, which is going to be tough. Russell Okung. He might be a guy to look into, to be honest. Not the best pass block, but he has decent awareness, decent strength. He's gonna have those, you know, those veteran plays. But let's see if we could look for anybody else. Okay, so Michael Brown. Unfortunately, your rushing stats are better than your pass blocking stats. Okay. And then this guy has really low awareness, which is definitely troublesome for a guy that's 29 years old. He's gonna be another guy to give up a bunch of stats. Wow, 94 strength. That is insane. Okay. So we're gonna look at a couple more guys here, but it doesn't seem like anybody worth adding. Adrian Waddle. He might be a guy that we might look into. At least for a backup spot. But I think left tackle is probably gonna be our #1 target for the draft. Definitely gonna be our #1 guy to look at. Unfortunately, I would love to try and go after Greg Robinson, but his development is slow, and that is going to hinder his progression. It's just going to be impossible for him to get any XP and to actually be able to increase his pass blocking stats all over. So Matt Slauson, for a 32-year-old, actually has really nice, well-rounded stats that I'm wondering if I could just convert him to a left tackle. Just gonna check this out. Yeah, no. Okay. So our left guard is actually up here, which is funny. So we would be able to offer him another contract if we wished upon that. So we're just gonna check it out and see what other guys are up here. Okay, Kevin actually has pretty decent stats. 27 years old. Nothing too hindering. We're gonna see if we can actually get him for a little bit cheaper, considering no one is bidding for him. And let's see what kind of offers we can actually get for these two guys right here. Let's see if either of them will be interested in signing that. Just taking a quick look at center just to see what kind of guys we have. This guy, Patrick Lewis, actually doesn't look too bad. Definitely a higher overall than our backup, which would be pretty nice. And I'm wondering if we would be able to use him at some other position. So we're gonna try and give him a sign, but we're gonna sign him to much less than what he's offering. Okay, Luke Jockle, and see it's that development. His stats are phenomenal with an 86 run block with 87 strength. So it hurts that his development is really low, because he's not a guy that you could just bring on, expect to get 20k XP, which I do believe that they should bring down the development price for offensive linemen way lower, because they keep it around the same for like wide receivers and those type of guys. But the thing is that wide receivers are more in tune to getting 30k in a season, as like, you know, a Hopkins or an Odell or someone explosive, than a right guard would be. Because to be honest, I don't even know how right guards manage to actually get XP, if it's between having successful rushing stats, passing stats, not allowing. Obviously, they get XP for not allowing sacks, but it's so hard to judge, offensive linemen that once you see a guy that definitely has a slow development, just stay away. Unless it's a guy that you just drafted, he's going to be a tough time to try and definitely progress. So we're just going to go through a few more guys here. We might look into Ryan. He's a little bit older, but okay, Dakota. I think we're actually going to go after Dakota here. I'm going to see if we call for him a 4-year contract for much less than what he's actually wanting. Okay. So then we're going to go right tackle. So Sebastian Ballmer is back on on the free agency flow. But unfortunately now nobody else that's extremely good. So we might sign Ballmer back to another 1-year contract just to kind of have insurance in case there's no one in the draft, or no one that's willing to fill in the big hole. Okay. So that wraps it up for this video. We're definitely going to keep focusing on free agency for the next video and a half, but didn't want to make this video extremely long, especially since we did have to go through the playoffs. But stay tuned for more free agency signings, and we're going to keep improving this team and hopefully actually go better than 5-11 for the next season. So this is Mix Up Games. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave comments. And let me know what you guys, would like me to do. If there's any type of free agent signings that you guys want me to get, or any players that you want me to trade for, definitely let me know in the comments. And stay tuned for the next few episodes. And as always, peace.